Thank you everyone for coming over to listen to the crew talk. I'm not sure if you've heard, but crew is cool again. So everyone wants to sign up, but those without your stickers, lame. So let's get that sorted. So the aim of my talk was really to just go through my journey through crew, because I kind of fell into it a little bit. And that pun doesn't really work, and usually that works in skydiving, but crew you open up straight away, so it's not really the same. So I'm just going to have a little chat about how I got started into crew and then all the amazing and incredible things that have happened since then. So I signed up to a coaching weekend, and you might see them advertised at Langar every now and then. We try and do a couple every year, and it was just after COVID. I'd saved up throughout the whole of COVID for all my jump tickets. I just did a summer of fun jumping. I was just signing up for everything I could get, all the new things, new stickers. I wanted to be a part of it. So I signed up for crew, not really having any clue what it was, and then had the best weekend of my life. And it has changed how I viewed skydiving since then. So I started off and I did my coaching with Marcus. If you've not met Marcus, make sure you go and see him, because he's awesome, as so is everyone in crew, which I'll circle back to soon as well. So you start off with CF1. It takes probably 4 or 5 jumps. You learn the basics, how to dock onto each other, doing center docks, wing docks, all the little nuances of your canopy. And whatever you think you know about your canopy, it's probably all wrong. And then you'd learn how to do crew, and then you learn everything there is about your canopy, and makes you feel like you've never known your canopy at all until that point. So I'm so grateful for everything that I've learned in crew, because it's taught me how to actually fly a parachute, whereas before I was just hoping for the best. So I started off with CF1. That was about 4 jumps, and then did CF2 that exact same weekend, which takes you on to 4 ways. And then once you've got your stickers, off you go. You go figure it out. And it's kind of the same as when you get your FS1 or your free fly one. You start off with your sticker and you jump in with a coach. You're thinking, I'm nailing this. This is going really well. And then you go and jump with your friend, and you're nowhere near each other, and you go, oh, in FS and free flying, that only lasts 50 seconds. When your jump's 10 minutes long, you really feel that you're not very good, because you're just nowhere near each other. And you try again and again and again to try and duck on each other, and you miss. And that was my first 3 jumps. So me and Swoop from the band, started a team just after we both got our stickers. So we started stack it up before you wrap it up. And the first 3 jumps, we jumped on canopies that were a little bit big for us. We weren't really that strong enough to pull on the fronts and use all the inputs. And we spent 3 whole jumps in roughly the same airspace as each other. So it took me right back to FS1, where didn't even take a dock for the first 20 jumps. And that's the same for when it came to crew as well. But you slowly get better, and what a benefit of having all that time is, instead of only having 50 seconds to try and get really good, you have got 10 minutes, so you can just keep trying again and again and again until you're absolutely knackered. So super nice, started a 2-way team, and it was kind of a bit like, should we do a team? Maybe we should do this. And we didn't really know what was going to come of it, but we had fantastic coaching from all of the crew lot. They've all been so helpful. And we started off getting a couple of points, even 0 points when we first competed in rookie. And then the year after, we won something. Can't remember. Competed a few years in a row now. And then last year, we came gold in intermediate. So I'm not sure if you've ever met Swoop, but he's not the smiliest of man. But look at these. Look at this. Look at this man smiling. This is how good crew is. It makes Swoop smile like a little boy. So far in our 2-way journey, we've not really actually had a chance to progress too much, and we're getting a little bit better. And every year we compete, we get more and more points. So we're naturally getting a little bit better. But we still end up with times like, this was our first competition. We've done 8 jumps. This was our 8th jump in a day. And crew jumps, they're long. They're really tiring. And this is Swoop as he forgot to take his hands out the toggles as he went to take a grip, obviously stalling his canopy into me. And he had a little nap after that. So we've come a really long way from a lot of wraps and a lot of fun things. Lost quite a few shoes now. But it's been great learning loads of different things about the canopy, and just how hard you can hit someone with a canopy and it being okay. That's quite a fun experience. So we've been a 2-way team for the past 3 years, and then this year, after going to the spring fling in the States, we made a 4-way team. So big socks, big ducks. We've got a few of us in the team. There's me, Josh, Matt, Swanee and Swoop. And we're actually going to the World Championships in September because we were the second team to compete. So we're qualified as well, which is pretty cool. So super excited to go and take this training and actually do a bit of training for this. We're going to see how well, because someone's got to come last at the World Championships and it's probably going to be us. Four-way and two-way, they're quite different to big way. And it's the same as like when you're doing other stuff like four-way and big way in other disciplines as well, where you're always moving to each other. But with CF, we've got 3 people that they can't move, so you're always like trying to get to that other person. You've got to work as a team to try and make it work, and it can feel so frustrating where you're like sat behind a formation thinking like this seems so far away from me and I need to get to it, and all the little inputs you need to do. So it's quite in the moment where you're trying to figure out all the different things that you can do to your canopy to get it to that space and trying to make it work at the time. There's lots of fun challenges. So they're the teams that we've been doing. Lots of fun stuff. So I knew that CF was fun, and I knew CF was going to be my new favourite thing in the sport, and nothing compares to it. I love my job, I love tandems, I love AFF, that's great, and I love fun jumping, I love doing free flying and tracking. I'm not good at any of it, but I like it all. CF's the first one I've been like, wow, if I could only do CF ever again, I'd be completely happy. I didn't realise just how many fun things there were to do in CF. So a few things, we started looking at parabatics. So this is only just a downplane, so it's not like there's a whole world of parabatics out there, and it's not really that big in the UK. It's just as crews starting to get bigger, I hope we get more parabatics because that stuff looks so cool. So starting to learn new things, how to get your canopies to dive, and there's something just so much fun about being upside down on your canopy and be like, what is going off? Some other things we've done, we did a water jump into a quarry, so we did crew into the quarry. That was really cool, especially with the matching life jackets. That was really cool. We did a night jump. That was super sketchy. That was really fun. So we just duct taped lights to our helmet. We did a 4-way stack, and the person piloted it was definitely not looking where the drop zone was, and we're all like shouting from the bottom, being like, Mark, can you please turn? The drop zone's over there. So it's that was really fun. And I've never done a night jump before this one because I don't like the cold. I hate the cold. It never really appealed to me to come out in December to do a night jump. And then this one was like 20 degrees. Highly recommend. So much nicer. Would definitely only ever do night jumps in the summer again. And then just like coming back to how much time you have on the canopy with these jumps, we've jumped in some really beautiful places, and you end up spending a bit of time doing crew, and then I found a few of our jumps we've just linked up and gone, wow, this is incredible, and you get to just sit back and enjoy the views and just take a second and go, wow, this is look at this view, and you get to just spend all that time. And you've probably done that when you're under canopy on your own, but you've also got your mate with you this time that you're chatting to going, wow, this is cool. So it's just, every part of it has just been so much fun. And the community, I cannot even begin to describe how amazing the crew community is. I've seen lots of different parts of skydiving. I work in the sport full time. I've been to quite a few different drop zones now, been to a few different events, and I cannot compare the crew community to any other community because it's the kindest, the most considerate, the most helpful. Everyone wants everyone to have the best time. And you're missing this bit of equipment? Cool, I've got this for you. You're running late for your call? Don't worry, I'll pack for you. You need some help with this dock? You need some help with this? Cool, we've got your back. Everyone is just such a huge part of the community, and this is worldwide as well. So we went to a few different events as a team and just as some people from Langar. So we went out to Sebastian for the Spring Fling, which is their annual event. Incredible event, so cool. And they were doing some amazing stuff. I'll come back to it a little bit, some of the things that I did there as well. We also hosted the first ever crew boogie in the UK here called the Proper Dink, which was a huge success. Few cutaways, few laugh landings, but a huge success. And it was incredible to have at Langar, which a few years ago was just this small little drop zone in the UK, having people from Australia and the States, all over Europe, coming to Langar to come and jump with us. in the rain and the cloud, but mostly for the fun. We also have this thing called jolting. This is, if you can't see from here, Mary being jolted. It's a crucial part of the crew community. I don't know where it ever came from. Do you know where it came from? No idea.
The Raw Dogs.
From the Raw Dogs? Yeah. Oh, cool. So we've got them to thank for it. So yeah, if you're ever at a crew event, don't wear your best jeans. So yeah, it's just been like every single jump has been amazing. Even when the jumps don't feel so good at the end, like, oh, I don't really progress there, or that wrap was a little bit scary, or I'm not sure why that went wrong. Each jump we get down and go, that was still the best fun I've ever had. It's also given, especially for myself, access to so many different display jumps. So as part of the super secret skydiving stunt squad, we've been doing loads of displays, including one onto this university campus over the past year or so. So doing crew into all these events has been amazing. So we did one into one of our local villages in Bingham, where loads of our staff and fun jumpers live. We've got one, this is onto the campus. We also get to wear a camera that makes my head look real funny, which I love. Over Beaver Castle, and then, can't remember where this one is. Is that the sports one? Yeah, so the other uni one. And there's been loads more, so even though they've just been 2 ways and stuff, like when we're coming into a display, we're usually doing it for a crowd. Swooping looks quite good. Most of the jumping, when you're just coming to land in on your own canopy, doesn't, like, it's not the most thrilling for the spectators, but actually coming in and landing a 2-stack or bigger, or hopefully bigger, or doing down planes is something a little bit more visual for the display. So that's what we're hoping for next year, is to get some more fun formations and a bit more parabatics involved, so we can, and more smoke, and flags, and some other things, maybe like fireworks, hopefully. I don't know, everything, we want it all. It's going to be amazing. So when I started off in crew, like I've already said, I came into crew not really knowing what it was, not really knowing where it was going to take me. And even just the short amount of time I've been in crew, because it's not a year-round discipline in the UK. I'm not doing crew between October to April. It's too cold for me. I don't like the cold. But in the summer, so there's not actually a lot of opportunity to go and do crew in the UK unless you're a bit more hardcore than me. So I didn't really know where I was going with crew. I didn't realise how much of an impact it was going to have on my skydiving and how much I was going to love it. And when we was out for the spring fling in March, there was a lady going around just asking everyone, like, do you want to be on the record? Do you want to be on the record? And it was just like, well, obviously, what is it? So they were rounding people up for the women's state record. And it's a bit of a mouthful, Florida women's state record. There's a lot of like little bits to it, but we started off with a 9-way, and Helen, who also does crew in the UK, also was on it as well. And Helen even had less experience, but we had hardly any experience whatsoever. And we ended up at the start of a weekend being introduced to all these new people, starting off with 4-ways, and then we ended up on a 16-way a couple jumps later. So huge, like the community and the build up to the state record was amazing. Like we'd all got there in the beginning of the day, and everyone was all like super excited. I remember like my stuff had been left in a car, and I was borrowing, I'm pretty sure I like borrowed Hastie's your jumpsuit, and I was running around trying to find a rig and a jumpsuit and a weight belt because everything else was late because I'd had to get there early. But it was we'd started off in the morning with the dirt diving, and then we went off to do the first jump, and we got it in the first go, which was awesome. And they're like, cool, right, let's go see if we can make this a sequential. Every jump since then was not so good. And we didn't quite make it again. But that first jump, it was like one of the first loads in the morning, beautiful sunrise. And I remember we just sat there, and as we broke off, we didn't even attempt to do a second point. Probably had enough time to rebuild it, just not quite. I remember just sitting there watching the sun over the sea and thinking, this is incredible. I probably teared up a little bit, got a bit emotional, because it was just like, I can't believe that we get to do this. How privileged are we that we get to I'm just sat 4,000 feet above the ground with all these incredible women at an amazing event with all of my friends, watching the sunrise. It was ridiculous. It's amazing. So yeah, crew for me has been, not to exaggerate, but life-changing, because it has given me a completely different perspective to what skydiving can be. Because I started off obsessed with skydiving, as I'm sure we all do, because it's freedom and it's the community. And then I entered into crew and was like, wow, this is even better. I didn't even know it could be this good. So I highly recommend, I don't know what I pressed, getting yourself signed up to do some crew if you haven't done any already. It can be quite difficult to get into to begin with. You don't necessarily need your own equipment to get into it. We sign up for a coaching weekend. We try and sort the equipment out as best as we can. But definitely get yourself involved with it because it's been the best thing I've ever done, ever.